So yeah, and and the God subject's a little tricky because it's not judgment. It's just an observation about a lot of people. They're very obstinate or arrogant about their religion. I mean, even a priest or something, and they'll qualify their belief with complete bullshit. I mean, there's no logical. It's like I saw God when I was 6, or some kind of crazy reason why they believe, and you're like, well, what good does that do me? I'm sitting here trying to make logical sense of the world, and you're going to tell me, well, my brain had a magical vision of Jesus, and that's why I have faith. And I'm like, well, I can't use that, because I haven't had no magical vision. Okay, no superpower's been talking to me when I went around the door over there. No superpower talking to me. Not saying a goddamn thing. So I don't have that evidence. I don't have that mystical, magical leprechaun ride to resort to say, oh yes, there's leprechauns, because one of them showed me, part of his treasure map, but he didn't give me the whole map. And he won't pick lottery numbers for me. So anyway, but you made some kind of line like it's totally unreasonable to say that we've proven that there's no sixth sense or there's no ESP or some other kind of bullshit. It's like, yeah, this logical proof is all over the goddamn place. Because as soon as you apply some scrutiny to these people, all of a sudden their magic powers, they don't exist anymore. There's some kind of wacky rule like, oh yeah, God won't not give a kid cancer, but he has a rule, he won't pick lottery numbers. I mean, it's like, so he goes to the trouble not to pick lottery numbers, not to allow people with special powers not to be able to pick lottery numbers, but he doesn't give a shit about the kid cancer thing. I mean, it's logically ludicrous. So that's a good enough standard for me. When something's logically ludicrous, that's good enough. It's like the UFO thing. We got into the digital age, and all of a sudden you don't hear all this UFO talk no more, right? It's like, nope, it's not happening like it used to anymore. Why is that? Oh, that's right, because our technology got good enough that we're no longer foolable. You can't pull the wool over our eyes no more. We watch space shuttles crash to Earth and shit. I mean, we see shit now. You can't fool us anymore with a bullshit blurry cigar picture. So yeah, that game's sort of up. The jig is sort of up. And you can do that with a lot of this stuff. So whatever. But I won't even get into that. Just get into the religion thing a little bit. I mean, it's a hard subject to argue, and we've argued it a little bit before. I mean, to me, it is an argument. I mean, it's got to be an argument. It can't be some kind of mushy talk. I mean, you got to talk rational arguments. You got to talk some sort of, something. There's you can't do physics without numbers, and you can't talk major, most important philosophical question in the universe with mushy, I kind of feel like there's a God, and, I get a tingly feeling, and, it feels like it's God tingling me. That's just not going to do it. So anyway, to me, the evolution argument is it's all over the place. I mean, every day they find a new genetic thing. They found the split in our DNA, and that's why we have less chromosomes than the great apes. I mean, they found all this stuff. I mean, just every day there's some new little thing, and it's just like bango, bingo, bango. Just makes it even a more secure story. I mean, they blueprinted all this genome crap, and all of it just points to the fact that, yes, you can just see that the ascent of animal kind. I mean, and once they do all of these animals, we're going to have almost every piece of this DNA just mapped right out, and we'll be able to take us back right to our common toad ancestor or some other bullshit, but whatever. And evolution only points to one thing. It does not point to a creator. It doesn't make any sense for some traveling God to go around the universe, take a dump on Earth, and have the dump turn into like reproducing life, and the reproducing life can do anything it wants to, and God will never come back to watch its creation. It just let it turn into some kind of Frankenstein monster and not give a fuck. What kind of God would that be? What kind of insane rationale would it have to exist? And like I say, the only one you can come up with is one that is completely unintelligent, one that is completely just an asshole. I mean, only an asshole would be this irresponsible. It's like starting a car and putting it in drive and then jumping out of the car and saying, well, I don't give a fuck what happens. I mean, it's irrational. It's insensible. It's non-intelligent. So it can't be intelligent design. And all the evidence to me just points to this chemistry thing. Yeah, chemistry learned how to reproduce itself. And, because of this whole blueprint DNA thing, game on. Okay, 2 billion years of evolution, and we got these funky little human things. They're still eating and shitting and fucking, but, they do some other shit now and then. Eat some jelly beans or something. They do something a little bit different. Have a video effect or whatever, and do little hand gestures. But we're still just fucking worms. So I don't know. Game over. God's a nice idea. It's a nice fantasy. Like Cinderella and Fairy Godmother and stuff. Yeah, it's a nice little story. Okay, watch the cartoon. Cartoons are fun. Bugs Bunny fighting with Donald Duck. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. But it's not reality. It's bullshit. It's a comforting little story, but that's all it is. And we have to deal with the reality here if we're going to do anything rational on this planet. And if we've gotten that one wrong, I mean, if you get, that's the catch here. You got to get these basic facts right. Because if you get them wrong, you're going to go walking in the wrong direction. You're going to be traveling a dumb asshole path. You're not going to find no rainbow gold. And you're going to be just lost in the, wandering around circles, chasing your own tail. You're just not going to be able to do anything really, truly constructive unless you really define what our circumstance is. And our circumstance is that we're needful consciousnesses, and that we have to do things to control ourselves, to maintain some sort of civilization, some sort of thing where we're going to maximize how much comfort and pleasure people feel and minimize how much pain and nastiness they impose on each other. Alright, so that gets to this whole thing. The second video is more about trust. The title wasn't too good. You can't change anybody, because that's bullshit. I mean, words change people every day. Words are power, and people can speak words to each other and change them. I'm not saying I've done anything miraculous, but I mean, I could give you names of 100 people or maybe more that have expressed to me their gratitude because I gave them an insight they didn't have previously, and they've appreciated it. They've been changed by crashing into my brain or personality or whatever, and in some way that they felt compelled to say thank you. So, I mean, I probably changed some people for the worst. I probably created some sort of kernel of hate or some other emotion that they could have lived without. Or I've made them feel like the world is, diminished because that piece of crap is able to make videos and people are watching them and it's irritating them and boiling up in them and they're just all pissed off about it. Like, oh, how can that shithead have any audience at all? This fucking long-haired, crazy fucker. But yeah, we have an impact. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. We change people just by looking at them, just by saying, I'm looking at you. We change them. We impact each other. There's no way that we don't. Confrontation is sort of an interesting subject. Like, why do people subject themselves to things that they don't like? Yeah, well, sometimes you got to do that. I mean, sometimes you got to do the Martin Luther King thing or something. You got to be a man on a mission from your perception of God or whatever. But yeah, you got to be on a mission to do what you need to do to fix what you think is broken, and that's going to require you to do things you don't want to do. I mean, that's what the end result requires. The victory requires that you have to do something you don't want to do, or it's going to be unpleasant or irritating or frustrating, and you subject yourself to it because your brain has got a reflex in there that just keeps banging at you saying, this is what will create the accomplishment. This will get you to the finish line. And as long as you believe that to be true, you're going to make the investment. And you're going to be motivated because you have defined it as a good to accomplish this thing. And it's a good that's going to be self-gratifying. You'll be gratified, proud. You'll feel something if you can accomplish that thing. You'll feel productive, whatever the standard is that gets you off. Some people don't get off on those kind of things. I mean, to me, it's always been sort of important about how I felt about myself to have a sense that I was being productive, that I wasn't being a consumer, that I was being a producer, that I was, facilitating something, not just being a selfish asshole. It's sort of a self-esteem thing for me. I mean, I need to not feel like an asshole. And so for my mental construct, yeah, it's going to require confrontation for me not to feel like an asshole. I'm going to have to be an asshole not to feel like an asshole. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to work. I might have to be a preposterous asshole not to feel like an asshole. Yeah, it's tricky stuff, philosophy. Just practical life, and that's what it takes sometimes. You got to kill for peace. All kinds of nutty shit like that it just turns out to be true.